Now, I want to ask you, those movie-motivated murders, are there a lot of Punjabis who are criminals?
I think he broke one or two limbs to put her into the bag.
It's basically a perfect crime.
I've come across a lot of murder cases that I've won. My clients eventually end up being murdered.
Manisha Pritko, you were her uncle. Would you consider what this boy has done premeditated?
All murders to me are brutal. You can't say one murder is less brutal than the other because a life is taken. There was a time Lord Denning says it's better to release 9 criminals than convicting one innocent person.
Hi everyone and welcome to the brand room with me, Gina Daliwal. I hope you're all doing fine. Now, my guest on today's show is a renowned criminal lawyer here in Malaysia. I think you would know him. You do see him in the media circles sometimes. He is also the watching brief lawyer for Manisha Pritko, or her family rather, as Manisha Pritko was murdered at the Cyberjaya hostel. She was a student at the University of Cyberjaya. So he's here with me today, and there's a lot of learning. We're going to talk about that case as well, plus a lot of other cases, including some that were inspired by movies, believe it or not. To the letter, some cases were inspired by movies. So join me in welcoming Dato' Rajpal Singh. Hi, Dato'.
Hi, Gina.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for taking time. I know you made my life difficult because you kept saying no, because you were busy, but I'm glad that you made time for us. There's a lot I want to learn from you. I think a lot of people who are watching are also going to pick up a lot, especially about criminal law and some of the cases you've handled. So yeah.
I will try my best to see where I can go with this.
First up, Dato', why did you choose to become a criminal lawyer versus corporate, civil?
Let me explain why, in the first place, I decided to become a lawyer, actually, not even a criminal lawyer or criminal law practitioner. Criminal lawyer sounds like I'm a criminal myself. So anyway, the reason I picked up law was my actual passion was always in enforcement. I wanted to be a police officer. In fact, many years ago, I did go for an interview. And those days, after your SPM, you can go for a probationary inspector. But when I decided to go for that interview, my dad was not too keen. Maybe because he served in the police. He was a police hero, Captain Mukhtar Singh. He made Selangor white. He had 5 kills, 13 captures, communists. Wow. And then he went into the army. And all his life he was fighting for pension that he never got because they say short service. 13 years police, 17 years army. And then the army told him that, look here, you're short of 1 year. You should have done a special weapons course. You don't have that certificate. But unfortunately, he was an instructor there. And he said, I instructed and signed off the certificates, and you're saying I don't have the certificate. They say, no, technically you can't. But my dad being himself, I in fact told him, let's take them on to court. He said, no, I'll never take the force to the courts. I don't want to insult, the force, whether it's the police or the army. But end of the day, he never got it. And so when I told him I want to be a uniform, like him in the uniform, serve the police, he was smart. He encouraged me. He said, why don't you take up law? Become a lawyer, then you come back and join as cadet ASP. Why inspector? So he convinced me. Then from there, I ended up taking up reading law and did my A-levels here and then left for London. My dad being not a very rich man, so he paid for my fees. The rest of it I used to work there part-time and survived. Came back as a lawyer. Not enough money to do my bar exams. Joined a university there and got involved in Lincoln's Inn, but just did not have the funds. Decided to come back, did my CLP in University Malaya, and then there on I became a lawyer. And in fact, when I started, when I was chambering, I chambered in a firm known as Lovelace and Hastings. Very interesting firm. And my master was Mr. Ajit Singh Mukher, Sukhwinder Ajit Singh Mukher, they call him Ajit Singh Mukher. And fantastic master, learned a lot from him, but I learned civil litigation, not criminal. Thereafter, due some issues with that firm itself, not Mr. Ajit Singh Mukher, fantastic master, they had their own partnership issues. I left and then joined another firm where they were doing mixed practice. And that's when I picked up criminal law. Not there, they used to do all. Basically litigation and criminal law is one of it. And also conveyancing. And you'll be surprised, Gina, till today, in my firm as a managing partner, not only I handle criminal law, I manage all the conveyancing files. So I built a name for my criminal law practice, but I'm one of those who started as a jack of all trades. I still do conveyancing work. I still can handle civil litigation if the need arises. When I first started my partnership with another good friend of mine, Dr. Jaspir, we started with accident cases. We call it runners, you see. So we have done all that. Why I picked criminal law, I think is because probably the passion for criminal cases. And I think most lawyers will tell you criminal law is less paperwork.
Right.
So less paperwork, but you must be very good in picking up issues because your cross-examination is impromptu. You don't have affidavits, you don't pre-plan. You plan your defense, but a lot of things come about in your mind on the spot. You must be witty and pick it up from there and then go on. And one of the other main reasons is when I joined this firm in the early 90s, I think it was 1993, and my boss then decided to pass me a file. They still had preliminary inquiry, a murder case that involved 5 Indian boys, murdered a girl, wee hours in the morning, raped and murdered her. And 4 of them were represented by Mr. Karpal, our late Mr. Y.B. Karpal. I have a lot of high regards for him.
Yeah.
And ended up going for this preliminary inquiry in Kuala Selangor Magistrates Court. And the magistrate then was Akbar Din, who is Dato' Akbar Din, a well-known lawyer so now. And from there, I saw the way Mr. Karpal carried himself, a real tiger, the aura he had. And I used to join him for those preliminary inquiries. So I think that enhanced my liking towards criminal practice because he was one of my mentors. He's someone I looked up a lot and went on from there. Even that case was very sad. It was a case where this girl's brother in Kuala Selangor, those days are very quiet, the roads there in Kuala Selangor, was involved in a gang. So this was another opposition group. So one day they decided to teach him a lesson. They planned, they said, okay, we will go and disturb the sister. We will probably frighten her. So early morning they waited for her. She came waiting for the bus. They grabbed hold of her. I think there were 7 of them and took her to the bushes. Then started a gang rape her. And I think she fought back. Then these guys were high on, I don't know, drugs or something. To keep her quiet, they took a huge rock and smashed her head. And the 2 fellows who were the main culprits were never caught till today. Right? So the 5 that were arrested were charged. Preliminary inquiry went on. Case was transferred to High Court to be heard. And there then I think the Aegis Chambers, because they were not the main 2, gave an offer and then they pleaded guilty. They got quite substantial years, I can't remember now, to serve imprisonment. So that was my first case in criminal law, and it was a murder case. And then many more others, and that's from there I just went into criminal law practice over the years. And last 15 years, maybe 10 years, I've really enjoyed criminal law practice now. So I don't really do civil litigation. because I got another partner who's very good in civil work, and so I let him handle those. But I still manage conveyancing files in my firm, but we don't do it in a big way, So that's how I ended up being a criminal lawyer or criminal law practitioner, right?
Right, well, that's pretty interesting. And to have someone like YB Kirpal
Yes.
to look up to, right? I think it sparks that interest. I say, I can do that. I mean,
Yes. I mean, he just had that aura.
Yeah.
And the way he used to get up and just ask some key questions and he'll destroy the prosecution's case, a skill that you don't find it nowadays. I think none of us have gone to that level. I would say I'm quite senior now. I would love to be at Karpal Singh's level, but I don't think so. I'm there.
So what's your argument style? I mean, like when you go into court, do you have a style? Like you let the defense side or whoever's side or whatever just say as much as they can, pick up points, and then you say, I'm going to hit you back with that point and that point and that. What's your style?
I mean, you need to know what is out there. You see, now, when we started those days, even in Mr. Karpal's time, when I first 90s, all you need to do is ask as little questions as possible, break the case, create a gap, and then just do a thorough submission to show the prosecution failed to prove their case. But now, over time, the courts has evolved. It's no more that easy. They have come to a point where you can't ask few questions and sit down. I know even Mr. Karpal, 2 words before his passing, unfortunate accident, I used to do a lot of cases with him, drug cases, even right till the day he passed away. I met him on that morning in court, Jalandutta. It's no more like that. Now you need to really cross-examine the witnesses. The courts expect you to really create doubts to the extent the gap principle is no more that applicable, in the sense the courts don't buy it. They say, no, you must show more. And so it's become a situation where we ask more questions now. But same time, you shouldn't overkill. So for me personally, before I go into any case, we already pre-plan our defense. So we know basically this is what the facts are. We interview our client. Whether he's done it or not, it's irrelevant. Most times they have done it, to be fair to the Malaysian police.
I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
How do you feel to be defending someone who done it? I don't know if I can do it, but I don't know. It takes guts, I suppose, and being thick-skinned.
It's not about thick skin. Okay, depends on what case you're talking about. Like rape, most cases, I don't do many rape cases. There was a time when as a young practitioner, we take on anything that comes to survive.
Yeah.
But over the years, I've stopped doing rape cases, except one that is, I'm not going to discuss because we lost the case right till federal court involving a politician in Ipoh. But we have filed a review and it's coming up this Friday in federal court again. So I may be sub judice if I talk more than that. But we, like rape cases, I take on if the client tells me straight to my face, I did not do it. Or rape also, there's a situation where if the victim is above 18 and he says it was consented.
Yeah.
All right. I also did recently a molest case where they have section 14A of the sexual offences against a child, which is very common. A lot of this is being also, to me, abused because there are a lot of these cases coming up where when the husband and wife has got marital problems, all right, the wife will use the child to teach the husband a lesson, especially if the wife is very angry, maybe the husband has got an affair somewhere, and convince the child to go and lodge a report that her father touched her places that not supposed to. And then, and usually a statement is recorded. If the child is coached well by the parent, the police will arrest the husband and charge him.
Hmm.
And this law now against a child, sexual offense against a child, is very one-sided law, where the accused defense lawyer cannot really, do things like a normal defense lawyer, cross-examine witnesses. Because when you deal with a child, now there are guidelines.
Yeah.
You can't shout, you can't. In fact, if during the evidence being taken, if it's a very young child, the courts will do it in camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or closed. Yeah.
So these are laws that actually can convict an innocent person. All right. And I mean, there was a time Lord Denning says it's better to release 9 criminals, guilty men, than convicting one innocent person. But I don't think so that applies now. So this is where we lawyers, especially if you are not a seasoned lawyer, you really need to sit down and look at how to go about winning those cases. And I have cases where we have instructions from the accused. On these cases, I've taken 1 or 2 as counsel. Other lawyers take in, then they bring me in because they don't know what to do. Where the client says, no, I'm innocent. So at this time and date, there are quite a few of cases where we come across where innocent people are being charged for criminal offences, unlike those days. You see, so Security Offences Special Measures Act, SOSMA. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a law that is required. It is a law that you need to control organized crime, gangsterism, but it's also a law that is sometimes can be abused.
That's right.
All right. So this is where these new laws have come in, which are very one-sided, and it can send an innocent man to prison. All right.
Yeah. Unfortunate, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm also affected by the fact that you said that one partner in a marriage can actually coach a child to say, it's like I'm going to get back at you, right?
Yeah.
Because this happened in our marriage. And then, for that person to be labeled pedophile, I think that's huge. That's huge, for a man. I feel that's huge. And I think, sometimes women, because women by nature, well, I suppose some of the women out there say, no, Gina, we're not. But we are very vengeful. We are,
No, maybe you
It's
can't
like,
blame them because they give all their life to the man, the husband, and then it turns out
definitely.
End up with a younger woman, especially when they are at the peak of success.
That's
then
right.
they forget who brought them there, you see. So that's where
Yeah.
they become vengeful, the women, because they sacrifice a lot. But there are women on the other side who are also equally bad.
Yes.
All right, have affairs. So, I mean, it's today's world. I think it's equality.
Yeah. It's also case by case, right? I mean, it depends on the case, right? But but I think I always believe, you should always go straight and turn right and not turn wrong. So whatever you do, even though the other person had done this thing, like, your husband or your man has done that, but I don't know. I don't think we should do that. Not using our children, lah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that's, you're just ruining a child, I mean, that's not the way to go about it, lah. You get back at him, and the child is already watching that drama between both of you, but not bringing the child in and say, he did that to me because mom said that, but, and it's very hard to bring that out, isn't it? It's in camera or closed chambers or whatever. It's very hard.
Yes.
And the child is like, if I say this, what's going to happen to me at home? That mom coached me like that, but when I'm at home, she's going to, whack me, But
it happens,
it's not fair to the child.
Yeah, not fair child. I think no parent should involve the child when they're going through these kind of things. But it is happening out there, so we can't help it. But coming back to the original question, Gina, I think I've beat around the bush.
It's all right. It was interesting.
Yeah. So, question of if I know the person is guilty, okay, let's go to something serious, murder. And he says, sir, I've killed this person, but you defend me. So usually if it's a brutal murder, we as lawyers, we have conscience. We try our best I mean, if it's rape and murder, you see, I've turned down cases where I don't want to do. But there are cases where they tell me it was a spur of moment, provocation, sudden fight, gangsters, Indian and Indian gangs fighting.
So no intention to kill, manslaughter.
Then we go for that. Sometimes we do write in representation asking for a lesser charge and they're willing to plead guilty. But sometimes the AG's chambers don't want to do that. They don't want to offer that lesser charge. They said, an eye for an eye, go all the way because the family of the deceased is pushing. And when that happens, then we are as lawyers forced to go for trial. And to me personally, when I'm asked to go for trial, I'm being appointed, then we go all out. We don't give guarantees, but we fight all out. We give 110%, 100% of whatever we are capable of.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate because AG's chambers don't want to give the offer. We fight. Sometimes we win those cases on technical grounds. You see?
That's a bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah, but then to me, over the years, if that kind of scenario, I said, I'll tell the client, I will do the best I can. You appointed me. The family will say he's innocent. But that's between you and God. You answer there. One day you will pay somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose, I think that's absolutely true, action, reaction, and, karma, I mean, it does come back to you. I think no one gets away. I think the balance is always, Chatragupta, or whatever we say in Sikhi as well. I think the balance must always be struck, right? I mean, yeah, but, okay, I'm going to ask you something now that's very sensitive, I'm sure, because you're related to this person.
Yeah.
So, Manisha Pritko, you were her uncle, as in Pupar, Chacha Taya?
Okay, it's through marriage, but technically you can say I'm, in a way, Punjabi sense, Taya.
Taya,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because, but I'm an uncle to her, and what happened to her is very unfortunate, all right?
Very sad.
And it's not only her, there are many victims like that over the years. Now, because with social media and all this comes out, even the Sabah case, Zara, after Manisha, there were a string of cases last year of violent crimes after Manisha's case. And it's very sad this is happening. Even that stabbing, multiple stabbing in the school of a young girl, by a young guy, a child, both the childs. So, very difficult to understand why the person did it. They have charged Manisha's housemate and her boyfriend for murder. They are now remanded. They are facing trial. I think it's coming up in Shah Alam High Court somewhere in March 2028, or it may come up earlier. We don't know.
2028, you said?
Yes, it's fixed that date. There's a lot of backlog in courts because after the MCO, but I think the dates may come forward. They are readjusting the diary and all that with the new Chief Justice and a new Chief Judge of Malaya. I think they are working very hard on that. So, why this happened? There's a lot of only Manisha can tell us, or the actual perpetrator. Now, this boy and this girl is charged. The police definitely did some investigation. I'm sure they have something to charge them for murder. But we don't have the statements. The lawyers defending them probably, I don't know where they've got their statements, what really happened.
Can I tell you just what I've heard? I heard that she was, I think there were 4 or 5 of the girls in one room. She was one of the girls.
One apartment.
In that apartment.
5 rooms, I think. 5.
Okay, apartment.
Yeah.
And every time she tries to study, they were very noisy. So what she's done is she went and complained about them. And then the first time they got a warning. And I think the second time they got a warning. But the third time when she complained, because exams were coming up, they called the girls, or this particular girl perhaps, and they fined her 500 ringgit. And when they fined her 500 ringgit, she had to pay, but she didn't have the money. So she paid using her boyfriend's money. So she said, please help me, this has happened. So now they're very upset for what has happened. So during the holidays, when there was nobody there, but she stayed back because she wanted to study for exams, they came back. She gave him the access card. They came back, and then she went in. And then they, of course, hurt her and demanded the money back. And of course, she would have fought. I think she did. And then one thing led to another, and then they happened to have killed her. And then from there, they took her ATM and they took her laptop, and they drove all the way down south to JB or what. Along the way, they were withdrawing money from her, but she was left, unfortunately, dead. So that's what I heard. This is
Okay,
this is goss.
I think that, what you heard and what I was told by the police when all this was going on is there's slight difference there. All that apartment where Manisha moved in, she moved in March. I think the incident happened somewhere in June or May, a few months later. That apartment has, I think, 5 rooms. They share a common bathroom. One of the room is a master bedroom, had their own bathroom. And the rest of the girls are foundation students. She's a first-year student. And I think she moved in there because she wanted to be nearer to the university. She wants to use the library to study. And the girl that is charged with a boyfriend is one of the housemates. And I think when she moved in March, this boy, who is charged now, used to hang around in the apartment. So there was a complaint, not by her, by her siblings, why is this guy coming into the lady's apartment when he's not supposed to? So I think the management and the university warned him, stop doing that, and told the girl, don't bring your boyfriend back to the apartment.
Right.
All right. And this went on. Then after some time, I heard he started coming back into the apartment. They had all kind of things going on. They even had some prayers and all that. And then there was another complaint, yes. And then based on that complaint, they did fine her 500 ringgit. And then I think she got the boyfriend to pay for it because she did not have the money. That's how it happened. Now, we were told later that the last complaint where she was fined, the girl was fined 500 ringgit, asking the boyfriend to pay, was not by Manisha.
Right.
All right. That's what we were told by another housemate. But they thought it was her.
Right.
Manisha is a very quiet person, hardworking. I don't think so she would have done it. Earlier, yes, the siblings came, they saw in March, they complained why he's hanging around. But she was complaining her family that these people coming around making noise and affecting her studies. So, yes, I think they had a grudge, thinking she complained. And these facts are not clear yet, but there is also a version saying that this girl then gave the access card and the key to her boyfriend, and she had left for Johor. She's from Johor, Masai Johor Baru side. And he's also from there. They knew each other, boyfriend, girlfriend from there. And then he stayed back to take revenge with her, I don't know. But because he had the access card and key given by the girl, now he's charged for aiding and abetting the girlfriend, the housemate. He walked into the apartment, waited for her, she was taking a shower. And even you had there was direct access into the apartment. And she was all alone because all of them had gone back. They were foundation students. Their exams were over. She had 1 or 2 papers to go that week. And that, what happened there after that, we don't know. But she was found dead. There is talk about he attacked her, used a stone to sharpen knife, smashed on her face, smashed her head to the wall. There's a lot of versions there. But end of the day, she was found dead. And she was murdered. Now, whether is this boy who is charged with the girl, the housemate, for aiding and abetting, directly involved, we don't know.
Right.
But definitely there is involvement because someone had access into the apartment. There was no break-in.
Yeah.
All right. And that access card, I think, was also used and all that. Yes, the credit card was used by him
Yeah.
after that downstairs in a 7-Eleven.
Right.
And there's, I think, a CCTV showing him buying something. But unfortunately, there were no cameras at the lobby area of the apartment, the floor where she was staying, or in the lift. You see, they were not working.
You know, when that case happened, there were a lot of ex-students who I happen to know as well who said that, yeah, it's not safe. It's not safe. People are walking in, you know, drugs are being sold, weed especially, you know, and all that is happening. And so it's not a safe place and things are going around, but nobody is checking. And these are students. So I think to a certain extent, the uni should have some responsibility, you know, towards the safety of the students, because these are students, you know, parents are sending their children there. But I don't know.
No, but that's the sad part. After that, we have heard from a lot of them coming forward and saying, oh, yeah, this place is terrible. There's a lot of activity going on, like what you just told, Gina. There's a lot of drugs being sold and all that. But until something happens, Malaysian way, nobody cares, nobody does anything. Now I heard the university has actually moved out all the students from that apartment.
Right.
All right. Why the university waited for something like this to happen, I wouldn't know. You see, but that's the Malaysian way. I think they always wait for something bad to happen before any drastic actions are taken. And in this case, Manisha lost her life. You know, it's
very sad, very sad. I feel like breaking down actually, because I've lost one of my own at that age as well. I lost my son at that age, you know, but it was an accident case. So things like this break my heart, and this one really broke my heart as well. But chalo, you know, Jo, sometimes do Rabbi Marzi, I don't know. Very sad.
Her own Thai also then the next day passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
And we all were around the same batch in the legal fraternity. Very nice lady, Manjit Kaur.
Yeah.
I think with all the stress and all that, she didn't take her medication, and that took a toll on her. So it's very sad. Two real tragedy to the family, back to back.
Yeah.
But
coming back to this case, would you consider what this boy has done premeditated, or that will have to be proven that you know, he had intention to kill? Or
I mean, prosecution has to prove it, because his statement, even though it may be a confession, may not, under the law and the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Act, nowadays it's not easy for prosecution to use his confession statement in the courts. The defense definitely won't use a confession, especially if there's a confession to the crime. So, yes, they have to prove all that. They have to prove many things. Again, if it's up to the court, the judge who's going to hear, he has to weigh the evidence and decide. It's not easy for a judge also. That's why they say justice is blind.
Yeah.
Justice is blind in two ways. One is justice, by right, when they say justice is blind, you know, in India, you know, Anda Kanun.
Yeah.
All right, by right, what they are saying is the judge should be blind to all other outside social media, trial by media, emotions. He is to look at only the evidence that is adduced before him in the trial, in the course of the whole conduct of the trial, what is proven and what is not, whether there is a reasonable doubt created by a defense. So the judge is blinded by everything else outside that scope. He's not supposed to look at. All right. Then we have another version of justice. Justice is blind, where they say that, you know, the police doesn't do the right thing. There is a lot of abuse of power. Right. But when they say justice is blind, by right, the judge is supposed to look at what is adduced before him, the evidence, and nothing else. So, end of the day, let's see the prosecutors. Hopefully, they do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure defense lawyers will try their best to help their client.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's supposed to be played out, right? So it's fair to both parties. But if you did wrong, I think you should be punished. That's
Yeah,
simple as that.
I know a lot of them came to me, even lawyers, when they told me, why so and so lawyer took this case, she's your niece. I know a lot of senior criminal lawyers were approached. They
Yeah.
turned down the case because they are friends of mine. So I said, let's be fair. I've also done murder cases. A life has been taken.
Yeah.
I've defended. So if the lawyer wants to, he's doing his job, don't punish the lawyer.
That's
All
right.
Yeah, so he's taken on a case. He's going to do his job. End of the day, it's up to the judge, up to the prosecution to prove their case.
Yeah.
And in the hands of Guruji, God's hands. I always say, end of the day, you will answer up there, whichever
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And I've come across a lot of murder cases that I've won. My clients eventually actually end up being murdered.
Huh?
Yeah, because they also die the same way. Because all this gangsterism. Either they are
That's
shot dead,
right, that's right.
or they have been murdered. I can sidetrack here. I had one case involving two Rajas. I won't mention what Raja they were. And they attacked someone, they killed the person. Then out of two of them, one said he was never there. The other one said that he was there but he left. That was our instructions. So we filed alibi. We fought hard. I think prosecution had 11 witnesses. The judge in Shah Alam then called for defense. We had 13 defense witnesses. It never happens, but we did that. And we won the case. And after 6 months, two of them, the same two, were sitting in Rajalaut. A group of gangsters came, attacked them. One managed to run, the other got caught, and he died. So I met the judge in one of the restaurants. He called me. He said, "You see, I decided based on the evidence, but you see, God is almighty. God's will.
What goes around comes around, nah?
So, and I've got so many cases like that of my clients, especially those who are involved in gangsterism, who got away in murder trials, but end of the day died a gruesome death themselves. Either they were shot by the police, or they were murdered by other gangs, over the years.
That's right.
So, I think justice will take its course in its own way, if not in the courts.
Yeah.
Like what the judge told me, Rajpal, it was divine intervention that the client got murdered also. So I said, but you released him. He said, but the evidence showed that they did not prove beyond, you cast a doubt.
Yes.
But, end of the day, divine intervention is always there.
Yeah, the universe has its own way, right?
True.
To right the wrong somehow.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask you about Punjabis.
Yes.
I think a lot of us Punjabis don't know this. I don't know this. This is only from your experience. If you do have some numbers or, from what you have witnessed or come across, are there a lot of Punjabis who are criminals?
I would say no.
No.
Yay.
Chenge bande hain.
There are Punjabis who are criminals.
There are, but not
girls and boys.
Right.
I have defended a few. Some are into drugs.
Right.
But they are not traffickers. One or two were arrested as mules. There are quite a few were convicted for commercial crimes now.
Oh.
Cheating.
Right.
There are one or two lawyers who have ended up in prison. I won't mention name.
Right.
All right. For criminal breach of trust. But they are not big in numbers. I think when it comes to, we are not a big population.
So you're going by ratio of population.
All right, not ratio of population. Okay, if we go there, we are about, 100,000 or slightly more or less, we don't know. We're talking about 6, not Punjabis, because Punjabis can be a white, group. Punjabis is an ethnic group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 6 here.
Okay, yeah. Let's go into 6 because that's us, yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at the ratio, successful Punjabi 6.
Pretty high.
Yeah, pretty high.
Pretty
Lawyers,
high.
doctors, engineers, accountants, businessmen, money lenders.
Yes.
Right? All successful in their own way.
That's right.
Right. In that ratio, we are very high. But when you look at criminals, we are not there. We are low.
Very good. I'm very
Yeah.
happy to hear
So-
that. Now, are there gangsters? Do we have Punjabi gangsters?
Punjabis, I think we all born as gangsters.
No, that one is true. I think I'm also a little bit like that.
I
मैं क्या
mean,
मैं ना पंगा ले तू.
When I was young, even I was into, I did martial arts, and then during my break, I used to work as a doorman those days in this Ampang Park discotheque. And we all Punjabi boys, and some of us are very successful now. I'm also the Malaysian Association of Punjabi Dignitaries President, which is all the Dato Punjabis, not Sikhs, all Punjabis. And some of my close friends never became lawyers, are very successful. But we all naughty boys then. We thought we were gangsters. But we were not. We just fight, we stand for our right. We don't back out from a fight. That's Punjabis.
Yeah, that's
all right?
us.
But here we have when a lot of Punjabi boys, when we are young, we do stupid things. They may join gangs, but they come out of it. That means they move on, they go into businesses. But I wouldn't say 100% we are out of it. There are some boys who are involved in gangs.
Right.
Yeah.
But those are mixed gangs, right? Those are not Punjabi Sikh. Mixed.
They don't have. We don't have a Punjabi gang.
Right.
We had a motorbike group those days.
And that one, there are few.
Started those days known as Santana.
Yeah, I know them.
The first group, a lot of them passed away through road accidents. Some of them are my friends. Then they had additional group. Now they revived Santana.
Yeah.
They are bikers. They are not gangsters.
No.
A lot of them are successful now.
Yeah.
In whatever they are doing, businessmen and many other things. So, but to say that we have our own gang going around fighting and underworld, no, I don't think so. Punjabis are there. There may be 1-2 boys join these gangs because they are influenced by them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we don't have per se a Punjabi gang.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have.
So, are there many, Sikh families, marriage, whatever? Are there crimes of passion that you have come across?
I did one where he was charged for murdering his wife and child, baby. He's been convicted all the way to federal court. But his instructions to me, he did not do it. I fought hard, but the courts felt that there were overwhelming circumstantial evidence to show that he did it.
Right.
So now he's actually facing a death penalty even after the amendments at federal court level. But I believe I'm going to file a review to at least save him from the gallows. I think I will be able to do it.
Can you do it before? Those people who were waiting in line, but before the act, you can. So it's across.
All done.
All
the
right.
previous Chief Justice called up in batches
Right.
and reviewed a lot of these cases. But there are cases where they are still maintaining that penalty.
Right.
They used the Indian cases where rarest of the rarest situation.
Right.
And here I think most of it is where if the accused have taken more than one life. Because all murders to me are brutal. You can't say one murder is less brutal than the other because a life is taken. It's how it's taken that shows how brutal it is. But the courts here have taken if you kill more than one person, then they still take the part of that. It's a rarest or a rarest situation. You still should face that penalty. That means they are not looking at, in sentencing you have rehabilitation, deterrence, retribution. So if you maintain that penalty or that sentence against a person, you're going for retribution. That means an eye for an eye. You took a life, but here you took more than one life, you pay with life. Right? So that is still going on. But whether they will hang anyone after these amendments, abolition of that penalty, where the choice is given to the courts, we don't know. Because it's on moratorium at the moment, I think the last 5-6 years.
Right.
And they have not hanged anyone. So we don't know whether this will happen. But I believe there are less than 100 of them facing that penalty now after the amendments.
Right.
Drug cases, they stop hanging.
Yeah.
All drug cases, they have reduced to 30 years imprisonment from the date of arrest. and 12 strokes of whipping.
Well, whipping is still there.
Yeah.
Now, I want to come back to the fact that you're in the Majlis Dato Malaysia.
I'm a member.
You're a member, right? Legal Affairs Committee. You're the legal advisor. And one of the things that Majlis Dato Malaysia is doing is also looking into fake datos or datoships. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know that there are, but how, where, why, what?
I'll do it short. I mean, you can take 1 whole hour or 2 hours talking about it. But I've done a podcast on that, live podcast on that issue. 2017, they came out with Act 787, is Official Awards Act, and came into force, where all those who have, what is a recognized title? A recognized title is a title that you get from Yang di-Pertuan Agong.
Yeah.
That's a federal title, starting from Tun, very high up, then Tan Sri, and then Dato Sri, Dato, and so forth. And then you have also recognized titles from the states, from the state sultans, Tuankus, 9 states. And then you have 4 other states, Sabah, Sarawak, Melaka, Penang, which is given by, considered in a way, a state, the Yang di-Pertua.
Yeah.
Now, if it's given from all these people, these are recognized titles.
Yeah.
Right. Anything other than them, under Act 787, is a fake title.
Yeah.
Right. So there were cases where some of these Kesultanan Melaka self-declared given titles. Then you have a lot of titles from Indonesian islands, Sulu, Lembang, all these so-called Kesultanan from those islands giving titles.
Yeah.
Now, all these are declared under this act as non-recognized title, so we categorize them as fake titles.
Right.
Right. And then there are also situations of where someone has not got any title from anywhere, self-declared himself as Tan Sri, Dato Sri or Dato. Okay, Act 787 is focusing more on federal titles, but they have the first schedule which is linked to state enactments.
Right.
Unfortunately, not all the states have come up with the enactments. So if someone says, I've got a title from a particular state and actually never received it, so it comes under the state enactment, and if there is no state enactment on titleship, that's why they are still getting away with it. Right?
Oh.
But if, like your example, you suddenly decide to call yourself Dato Gina, and it's all over podcast or you print a name card, the police can actually arrest you, investigate you, and charge you for breach of Act 787, where there are a few cases now ongoing in courts.
Yeah, there are plenty still. I still see those names on
so
TikTok.
MDDM has taken on the role of trying to locate these fake titles and work together with the police and the Attorney General's chambers. They have succeeded in a few cases. What MDDM does is they will approach these fake dato, advise them to stop.
Right.
If they don't, then they go on to sometimes even lodge police reports themselves, trying to be a kind of whistleblowers. But it's also risky business because a lot of these fake datos could be gangsters who are linked to underworld syndicates, because a lot of them are scammers.
Right.
They use these titles to get people to invest with them.
Right.
See? Now, why would someone use a fake dato or title? Now, Malaysia, like the British, it all came from that part of the world. Even India, they got, Sir, the Lord, Padma Sri in India, and all that. So Malaysia, so we have these titles. Now, the title is supposed to be someone who has done a lot for the public, for the country. In recognition, the royalties, they give you this title. That means you are successful in some way, doing something. Initially, it's very popular among senior civil servants. They used to get it. If you are in a police army, you reach certain rank, you're a judge in a high court, you get these titles. Then it became popular among successful businessmen who contribute to society.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a lot of welfare work and all that. So the royalties started recognizing their work and started giving them also titles.
Yeah.
So it gives them a standing, a recognition. And a lot of people, public out there, be surprised. Although nowadays they say you throw a stone, you hit a dato. All right. Do recognize that these people with a title is someone who is successful, someone who has done well for himself, given a recognition.
Or contributed to
Or
the country,
contributed to
right?
the country, yeah.
Economy.
In many ways, whether it's in business sense
Yeah.
or many other ways. So a lot of them you think that, oh, if I use this fake title, I can attract a simple person on the street, convince him to invest with me. So a lot of these people who use fake titles have got a hidden agenda. So they could be because they want to scam someone.
Yeah.
They want to show that they are successful. So that's the problem out there.
So I think we should also be very careful, to check, what exactly. I think people are getting easily scammed out there.
Actually, no, you can check. I think there is a website, www.istiadat.gov.
Istiadat.gov.
Yeah, you can check. I'm not sure the exact, but if it's out there, you can just key in their names, IC number.
Right.
If it doesn't appear, there is a likely that person is not holding that title.
Right. Yeah, but sometimes I know our IC numbers are everywhere. You go into one guarded and gated house, they look at your IC or you fill up. You go to an office, you fill up. Our IC numbers are everywhere.
No, petrol stations.
But petrol stations, just to pour petrol now, so, but
Sorry.
really I don't know whether we can get people's IC numbers. So maybe in the name, if it's correct spelling, would it come out?
Yeah, it will come out, you see. So, I mean, I will advise anyone approach you and say, I'm so and so, invest with me, I've got this title. First thing you ask them is give me your full name, IC number, and check your background. No harm.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to invest with them.
Yeah, of course.
Ask for the full particulars. You see, if you're still not sure. There are situations where someone has got a title, genuine, it's not in the istiadat because probably they are waiting for their investor ceremony or they have not got their watika.
Right.
There are situations like that. So if they said we are genuine, then you can you can actually write to the state SUK and they will reply.
Now I want to ask you these questions. We're going a bit away now. Have you seen whipping? Does it really take away your skin, like your mass?
Yes,
one whip.
One will do. Depends on who you are.
Marjanda koi ke nahi? Does somebody die or it's like...
I don't know. God. They don't disclose. But there is a doctor there. But I mean, they are quite good in what they do. They protect because they put a padding on the top and the bottom. Is only the main part of your buttocks is exposed, a small portion.
Right.
So they whip exactly there. And they are very good. They can whip the same place again and again. And a maximum under the law is allowed is 24.
Huh?
All right. So
really? Yeah. 24? Even 2 is a lot.
What basically is this, I spoke to some of the wardens. I've not seen a live caning, but I've seen videos shown to me. Ugh. I think it's again how fit you are. If you have a lot of muscles there, you're fit, you can take it. If you have a lot of fats there, I'm sure you can take it. So I don't know how it works. Right? But it's a painful affair. And
I'm sure. I can just imagine.
But a lot of them have taken, I've got clients who have taken, I met them after that. They suffer for 1 month, they sleep with their back up.
Oh.
But after it's okay. They are back to normal. Life is normal. Unless the person who is whipping makes a mistake and hits slightly above the point, it can be dangerous according to doctors. It can affect their nerves to the spine, paralyzing them. For men, even they cannot perform sexually after that, and things like that can happen. But I've met some of my clients who have taken it. They're okay. They're fine with it. So
is that a regular thing that happens?
Yeah, most drug cases, if they reduce the charge, whipping is there.
Oh my
So
goodness.
if they reduce to passive possession at the appellate level, they get 10 whipping.
Oh,
If you go under where you are convicted for trafficking, they give you 30 years, 12 whipping.
the whipping is one at a time.
One
or
go. It's supposed to be one go.
One go 10.
10.
One go 10.
Or 12.
Or 12
20.
or 20 or 24 max.
Yeah.
One time.
One time.
So it's not like, 2 महीने बाद फिर आ जाओ. No, huh?
No.
Oh my goodness.
It's supposed to be one go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those days, sekolah, the teacher rotan your hand also or whatever. So I've seen boys, right? You have to bring down your pants and you kena. That was also damn painful. Imagine this.
This is a full swing.
Now, I want to ask you, I think I missed earlier because this conversation is so interesting. Those movie motivated or learned murders or the cases that you have actually defended? Defended.
Yes.
Can you please share what movie or movies and what exactly happened?
Okay. Those days when I first started doing early days, a lot of murder cases, now I've slowed down. Especially involving gangsters, Indian gangsters, within, because one of my branches is in Batukes and I'm also from Sentul. Those days, these were hot areas for, like now Klang is hot for all these kind of crimes where they fight among themselves over to dominate a certain area. I've done several murder cases involving gang fights. And a lot of those movies, murder cases, if you look at the facts, and when I sit down and talk to my clients, how this happened, how did you get a murder weapon, and all that, there are a lot of similarities to movies, the way they do the crime, murder. Some are crime of passion, some of many funny ones. There's one, this guy, where he does cosplay. They have cosplay costumes.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's this young girl he met. She was, I think, in her teens. Used to come over. They do the cosplay costume, and he also in his house. And I think he's only staying with his sister. And the grandfather had passed away. The mother wasn't there, and this boy, also young, in his late teens. I think he was 19 or 20 years old, and. So one day this girl comes and helps him to do the cosplay costumes. Then he says, I like you and all that. They started kissing and so forth. He's trying to go all the way with her. And suddenly a customer knocks the door. Mm-hmm. So he tells her, hold on, let me deal with a customer. He deals with a customer, he comes back, and she's already on the computer playing games. Then he tries to continue where he left off. And then she told him, she's no more interested. So they have an argument, and this guy, from where he bought from Puttai Street, they have this thing where you can give electric shock to someone, a teaser gun.
Yeah.
So he had that. So I think he was pushing her. She took the teaser gun and struck near his neck. Same time, this guy had a dumbbell, took the dumbbell and hit her.
Oh.
One solid hit, and she fell there and died. You see? And then he panicked. Somehow or another, bent her knees. I don't know what he did. Put her in a huge luggage bag.
Oh.
Closed it, and then found his way to some secluded place and threw the bag there with the body in it and left. Not knowing there was a CCTV facing that place. And the girl's parents, working parents, gave her too much leeway. They only started looking for her at late night, midnight, when she never came back. So she is also from a broken family. The father had left, the mother is single and all that. So, and then finally one thing led to another. They arrested this guy. He was charged for murder. And at the end of the day, he was convicted for homicide, not amounting to murder. And he got a sentence of 22 years.
Right.
I fought very hard on the intention.
Right.
And I succeeded at appellate court. he was convicted at the High Court, and then Federal Court affirmed that it's not murder, premeditated intention to kill under Section 300. So, but I asked him, how did you get the idea of breaking her? I think he broke one or two limbs to put her into the bag.
Oh
He
dear.
said, I saw one of the movies where how they disposed the body. Then I told him, you had no intention to kill her, why you did that? Because that made things worse. The prosecution refused to give an offer because he disposed the body.
Right.
So they said he had planned the whole thing. He said, no, I panicked. I got scared. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
You see? But I remembered the movie, so I used a luggage bag, sister's luggage bag, quite a big one, and did that, you see. So, movies do give ideas to all these criminals. I think even the recent stabbing that happened, they're saying that boy was on video game, and when influence.
We saw the note, right?
Yeah.
Where he actually said that he's on a 0 day. He's out
0
on a
day.
mission in the game mission to kill.
So I think his mind was clouded with what he couldn't differentiate what he was, the video game, what he was playing, and what was reality. You see.
Correct. Yeah.
So sometimes all these
That Banda Utama school,
yes,
right?
yeah. So I mean that's also a case pending. But I'm just saying that all these social media, video games, movies do influence some of them when they commit a crime. Right?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Ajay Devgan movie, Drishyam. If you've seen Drishyam, you should watch that movie. He's got Drishyam 1, 2 and the third one coming out. And it's all because he watches movies and he sees how they get away with things, murder, whatever it is. And a murder happens in his own backyard, in his house, and how he got away with it with his family and how he coaches the family and all that. It's basically a perfect crime. Having said that, is there such a thing as a perfect crime?
Okay. I mean, when you ask a straightforward question, perfect crime, can someone perform a perfect crime?
Yes.
I would say there's nothing like 100% you can do perfect. There is always flaws in whatever you do. But the question is whether you can you do a crime and not get caught? You see, I think there was a politician who said, stealing is not a crime until you get caught.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, is that such a situation? Yes, there are many people who commit crime and don't get caught. So, when you don't get caught, can you consider that a perfect crime? Yes, you can call it a perfect crime because you never got caught. All right, and I've come across, I won't mention names of people who have stole and never got caught and became rich using that money and went into businesses. People who have robbed on highways and then took that money, became businessmen. For some reasons, they never got caught. All right. I know you can ask the police, there are a lot of murder cases unsolved. Probably it's because it was very well planned by whoever the perpetrator is. If you ask a criminal lawyer like me how to come across a situation where, I mean, to teach someone how, in theory, to do a perfect crime, probably I can do it as a senior seasoned criminal lawyer. But to actually succeed in it is a different thing altogether. But there are people out there I've known who have got away with perfect crimes in the sense they never got caught. All right?
Right.
Whether I know who they are, I don't want to mention names. All right?
But are we saying now, right? I mean, you just quoted the politician, and we know who it is. You know, you steal, but not until you're caught that you are considered to have committed a crime or a criminal, right?
Yeah.
Are our police good at the investigation? Are they really doing a good job?
To be fair to Malaysian police, Diraja Malaysia, I think they are good. They have been accused of being corrupted.
Right.
There are bad apples everywhere.
Yeah.
But to me, if they really want to solve a crime, they do it. Manisha was a good example. They went all out. They found him hiding in the one boy who is charged for murder in the house, in the closet. All right. They located him. In Johor, back in his own parents' place. and they caught him within 24 hours of the crime being committed. And there are many cases where the police have solved. And
Right.
I mean, there are times when their hands are tied because the crime is done such a way that there is no clues, there is no CCTVs, there is no
Yeah.
eyewitness, no forensic to help them. All right. So, but looking at a police force over the years, even before forensic evidence came in, they have solved many cases, even murders, drug trafficking, and many other cases by sheer investigation, basic investigation, arrest, and then from there get statements and prove the case. And
Right.
there are a lot of people have been convicted also. So to say Malaysian police, I think they can do a good job. They are doing a good job,
Yeah.
but I believe they're overloaded. There's a
Oh,
lot
right.
of crime out there. So sometimes they do neglect petty crimes, I suppose. If Malaysian police wants to catch someone, I think they can, if they want to.
Right.
All right. If there's
So-
no interference,
So they're pretty well trained, huh?
they are.
Yeah.
They are well trained.
Do you think they are prejudiced? I know this is a side question. Like they will go all out to investigate, some big gun, but then the small guy, they couldn't care less. Is there such a thing? You think?
Depends on what crime you're looking at. You see, when it comes to violent crimes, I don't think so. They look at
Big or small?
success, big, small,
Right.
skin color, religion. No, they go all out. They don't care who you are.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have this thing about white collar crime. White collar crime is another ball game altogether. There may be interference. But I think overall they do go after them. But sometimes it's not easy to catch someone in white collar crime.
Yeah.
Because you really need a lot of expertise in that field.
Yeah.
Especially now with all this, a lot of crime where transactions are done through the website, digital currency,
Yeah.
all this cryptocurrency coming in, and so forth. Even drugs are being bought through the dark web.
Yes.
Parcels. To scan every parcel that is running through the country is not easy, but they do catch some of them. So I don't think so it's easy. And like I said, there are bad apples within the force also
Yeah.
who are corrupted. Not all. There are few. But that few also can help some criminals to escape from being caught. You
Yeah.
see?
I think that happens everywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Have you ever been threatened?
As a criminal law practitioner?
Yep.
Yes, over the years, I have threatened for taking a particular case. Many years ago, I think it was about 20 years ago, I remember I was a young practitioner, more than 20 years. I think I was a few years in my practice. And I was appointed by this gentleman where he said his brother and his sister-in-law were arrested for possession of a firearm. They found a pistol in a Milo tin outside the house, behind the fence, is a link house. So he came, he paid some fees, he told me, do something. So I went to the police station, objected the remand, saw the police, wrote a representation saying, you can't stick the case to my client possession because it's an open area and there was no fingerprints and all that. So after, I think those days you can remand someone straight 7 days. So after the 6th or 7th day, the prosecution, the DPP, the IO went and approached and they said, okay, we got not enough to charge them. So they were released. And that this guy, whom I actually defended, who was arrested with a gun, after 2 days comes to my office and puts a gun on the table, and says, I want the money back, what my brother paid, your fees, I want back the money. All right? Because they could not have charged me. So your purpose there was nothing. It was only 5,000 some more, not big money. And so I looked at him, I said, look here, I objected a remand. I saw the investigating officer, his boss. I wrote a representation to the AG's chambers that your case, there is not enough evidence to charge you. That's why they NFA your case and you're out here. He said, no. I think that guy was a bit on drugs. So, and I think he had not one gun, he probably had another one that he came and kept on table.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing a gun, whether it was loaded, not loaded, I didn't want to know. But it was scary. I was young that time. So then I looked at him, I told him, look here, I don't have the money now. Why don't you come back tomorrow? I will give you back the money.
Oh.
All right. I think that was the best approach.
Yeah.
And maybe we are Punjabis, we are still brave, so I took it on and managed to convince him to come back the next day. The moment he left, I ran to the police station, saw the head of crime there. I knew him then and told him this has happened. Then he said, never mind, lodge a police report and we will catch all of him.
Yeah.
And then next day the police was there, all in plain clothes. He came. And so as he was walking up, he walked into my room. They nabbed him. But he was so lucky he didn't carry a gun that day.
That day.
Yeah. So he escaped in that sense. But they still charged him for threatening me and all that.
Yeah.
And I think that time they had this emergency ordinance. So somehow or another they used that and put him in for a while, the EO. So after I never saw of him. So police did their part. They protected me as a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I think the police does do their part over the years. They do protect you. So that was one case. There are other cases where I used to get phone calls where I act for one murder. I remember there's one case, a very popular, involving two gangs. So I was appointed by one of them to defend them from murder. So the opposition gang called me and said, we don't want you to do the case. So I told them, Ken, you pay me back what they paid me. I'll pay them back the fees. All right? And they can always take, that time I think Malaysia had about 15,000 lawyers, now they have 25,000. I said they got a pool of many other lawyers to take. It's no issue if you are so unhappy, all right, you're to the extent you're threatening me. Very simple. You pay me back what they have paid me, I'll pay the family back, and I'll come out of it.
Yeah. Simple.
Then they went quiet because no one wants to take out money, you know.
You're very brave. I mean, didn't you know someone else would shit in their pants?
I think because over the years I've been dealing with these criminals, we know how they think, we know how to approach it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not easy, but one thing I was told by Mr. Karpal, late Mr. Karpal, to me is one of the greatest criminal lawyers ever in Malaysia, that when you deal with them, especially your clients, if it's a third party, you lodge a police report threatening you, but even your own clients, he said, never cross the line. That means you meet them in the office, you deal with them professionally, as long as they are your clients, all right? Don't sit down and have a tea with them, go for food with them. Don't cross the line. They're not your friends. They're your clients.
Yeah.
All right? And another senior lawyer once told me that the moment someone becomes your client, he could be your own brother, he's your potential enemy. Because if you do wrong, they'll be the first to complain against you. All right? So these are things very important for a lawyer to remember. Don't cross the line. Be very careful what you do. Do it professionally. You know, don't cheat your clients.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of lawyers being murdered over the years.
Yeah.
But I think they crossed the line. Maybe they did something so drastic that people went to the extent of taking their lives. You see?
They could have betrayed their client, maybe.
Likely, cheated them. There are some even lawyers are crooks, some of them. They cheat their clients. There are a lot of lawyers who are investigated for criminal breach of trust. You see? And it's very unfortunate. They shouldn't do it. But sometimes I think greed gets the better of them. See, Malaysia, we are the only profession, the lawyers, who can actually hold clients' money. We have this, what we call client's account.
Right.
All right. So I think that is where sometimes lawyers tend to get influenced by seeing so much money in the client's account that they have access to, even though it's not their money, and tend to make a mistake in their life. Like, oh, never mind, I take the money, roll it, then put it back. But sometimes when they roll it, they lose the money there, then they're stuck.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, but a lot of them do get caught in that kind
Wow.
of situations. Some of them end up in prisons because they are charged for criminal breach of trust. Open-ended case.
Yeah.
You're a stakeholder for money.
Yeah.
Money has gone missing. You are the only signatory. All right, you can't answer. You will be convicted, especially if you can't pay back.
That's
You
right.
see.
Now, what's the future for Datuk Rajpal Singh? Is he thinking of anything to do with politics, senatorship? I know you're the president of Gurdwara Sahib Sentul. Let's go there for a bit. You're the president of Gurdwara Sahib Sentul. What is you and your committee focusing on while you are in this presidency? And then also, of course, what's the future for Datuk Rajpal? Retire, be a grandfather, whatever.
I'll start with this. Lawyers don't retire.
All right.
Yeah, I think most lawyers, they until the day they go, they are lawyers. They may slow down tremendously, but they don't retire. And I don't plan to, unless I'm forced to, all right? But God willing, it doesn't happen that way. Now, Gurdwara Sahib Sentul, okay, that's one of my passions. See, I'm a born and brought up Sentul, third generation there. And Sentul Gurdwara's history is very unique. It is a Gurdwara that was started, see, most Gurdwaras in Malaysia were started by Sikhs who came to the police force, unlike Gurdwara Sahib Sentul. Sentul was started by Sikhs who came to the railways, because the largest railway workshop was in Sentul. And I think they started in 1912.
Wow.
And from Sentul is where they branched out to Tat Khalsa and Main Duap Gurdwara because of some controversy of those days. They have Maja, Malwa, Duapa.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So Sentul ended up being a Pahu Gurdwara, Maja.
Yeah, Sentul is Maja,
Tat
Main
Khalsa,
Duab is Duaba, Tat Khalsa is Malwa.
Yeah. Now
Wow.
no more, no longer, but I'm a member of Tat Khalsa. A lot of Malwa, the president of
I'm a Malwan. And you are?
Maja. I just said what? Pahu Gurdwara. My wife is from
She's Malwan.
Malwa. you
She's
see.
Malwan.
Tat Khalsa President Ranmit is our auditor.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm a member of Tat Khalsa. Now it's all mixed.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate that happened because our gurus said there is no such thing.
No more.
Yeah, actually, it's never supposed to be in Sikhism.
Yeah.
All right, race. We should not have caste.
That's right.
So that's why he created a Singh and a Kaur. All right. So, putting past that, when I took over Gurdwara Sentul, being a very old Gurdwara, has been there, needed a change. There was a lot of infighting in the Gurdwara.
Every Gurdwara.
Yeah. But Sentul was popular because the infighting went on to physical fights in the AGMs. I've been now president there, going to be my 8th year. And so when a lot of us over the years, I never used to mix much. My dad was the president of Selayan Gurdwara because my parents had moved towards Batu Caves. And when he retired from the army and all, he did seva there. But we always were originally from Sentul. And I was a member of Sentul Gurdwara some time back. So there was a lot of these issues going on that some of us who have done well for ourselves with Guruji's blessings decided to come back and do something about it, improve the Gurdwara, bring changes. And one other person who had the same dream, or he's the one who convinced me, he and his brother, to come back with Tansi Rajpal and his brother Kirpal, we call him Guru.
Bob, yeah, Bob.
So then I know one of the AGMs I got up and made a lot of comments that, we should do this, we should do that. And Tansi Rajpal came in the picture earlier before me, tried to bring changes. He was facing a lot of obstacles. So some of us then joined in the bandwagon, started supporting him. And because I think I spoke a lot in one of the AGMs, they all turned around and said, you will be the best person to be the president. Never in my wildest dream, in my life, thought I'll be one day a Gurdwara president. Right? And ended up being a president of Central Gurdwara. And from there, it was uphill task first because we had to bring in a lot of changes. We were deregistered. I had to run the Gurdwara cash for 16 months until we got back. ROS registered us back. Then MCO came in. So there were a lot of challenges, but we did whatever we could. Even MCO, whatever said and done, we did a lot of food bags and all that. One thing I admire about our Sentul Sikh Sangat, we fight, really fight, but the loser team never leaves the Gurdwara and walk away. They're still there.
Aww.
All right. There are some Gurdwaras I know, the party that loses just completely cut ties and walk away.
Yeah.
And then they either start another Gurdwara somewhere or just start going to other Gurdwaras. But Sentul, no. Whatever said and done, it's like a big family. We fight, we argue, but we are still there together. All right. And our arguments can be quite noisy at times. They say pausa noisy compared to others. All right, again, I'm going a bit offhand, but I think Punjabis in general are noisy. But Sentul has always been this. There is a lot of fighting, arguments those days, but they never left. Now things have changed. I've got a very good team the last few years, last 4 years. Tansi, with his development committee, fulfill what he promised. We built a new darbar.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We thought tearing down the old darbar. There was talk about tearing down old darbar. Then we said, that building is there since 1932. And now a few years, it's going to be 100 years old building. The first Gurdwara that was built in 1912 was torn down and built the present front facade that you see.
Yeah.
So it's been done. It's the only Gurdwara in Malaysia or maybe in this part of the world that has a soundproof darbar. The walls are soundproof. We have a thick mesh of 5 inches behind it. We have some of our other boys who have done well in businesses, successful, have come back. One other is our Sardar Jagdish from Tasty Chapati, who came and then donated for the sound system. We have one of the only digital sound systems that every mic has got its own purpose. But we keep repairing these mics. It costs a bomb, but we keep spending. So between Tansi Rajpal, Jagdish and many others, I mean, if I start mentioning names, a lot of them, as a team, we have done what we have made Central Gurdwara what it is today. And a lot of weddings are done there now. Even the design of the palki, I and Tansi Rajpal sat down one day and said, let's do a palki that's different from rest of the palkis. So we came up with, if you look at it, it's like a crown, Guru Maharaj, so it's a crown, kind of a shape. And then we got the engineers and architects to come up with a structure that can hold that crown. It's not easy, it's few tons.
Weight,
the weight.
Yeah.
And we succeeded in that. It's the first in the world of that design. But it's not easy to maintain change the mala and even the Chandova and all. It's not easy. We have a good team doing it every week.
Yeah.
So Gurdwara Sentul has progressed structurally. We have everything in place. Then we sat down and said, okay, look here. We have all this. What are we going to do with it? We cannot have an empty Gurdwara. So then we went to phase 2, started to promote the Gurdwara, Yes, we promoted the Gurdwara to have weddings, a lot of weddings. We have brought in a lot of international jathas now. We have huge smaglams. So if we can attract all these people back into Gurdwara, understand Sikhism,
Yeah.
then why not?
Yeah.
You see?
Just start coming. I
Yeah.
think the whole idea is just start coming, even if you're coming to meet friends,
Yes.
even if, for wedding, engagement, whatever, just start coming.
So coming back to my passion of Gurdwara Sahib Sentul, we are still carrying on. I'm trying to get more and more youngsters involved even in the committee, guide them, hoping soon someone will take over. I don't want to be there for life. All right. We have few more projects to go. Once those are done, then I'll pass on the baton to the next person. There are only 2 or 3 of them, I think, ready to take over.
Awesome. That's really, really awesome.
But I will not walk away from Gurdwara Central even though I'm no longer the president.
Absolutely. On that note,
Yeah.
thank you, Dato.
Thank you, Gina, for inviting me.
Loved the conversation. We went
most
everywhere today. We went from, criminal law, your practice, your cases, and, the fake datos to coming back to cases inspired by movies or motivated to your presidency in Gurdwara Sahib Central to a lot of other things that we just,
Yes.
was a good banter.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
and I
you.
wish you all the best. And maybe I'll see you next time.
Ken, thank you, Gina. Thank you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The brand room with me, Gina Dhaliwal, and my very special guest today, renowned lawyer, criminal lawyer, Dato Rajpal Singh. See you next time.